Hey guys, I just want to give you a heads up. This one's probably going to be a little bit longer than most of these have been. Um, Not due to any kind of changes or anything, but just because I've had some stuff happen at work that I felt like I needed to share with all of you on the off chance and the probability that a lot of you are going to be going through the same thing that I've been dealing with. So, um, we'll go into a little bit of that as well as how I chose to handle it. So, but first things first, I'm still eating. I'm still pissing like a racehorse. Um, Still growing hair, but it's starting to come this way a little bit, like from the back of my head to my face, hopefully. At least that seems to be the trail that it's taking. So, I've noticed some right back here after my hairline stops, but before my chin, so I don't really know what that is, but we're gonna go with it. So, anyway, there's that. I'm still getting wider in this area. My binder is killing me. I need to get a new one. And I figured out a solution for my STP. I just have to get that part ordered, and I'll get into that more whenever that happens. So, like I said, this one's going to be strictly work related. So, for all you guys who are out specifically, the ones who are not out as trans, I don't know how much this will be helpful to you. But for those of us who are fully out at work, this is where I've come from and what I've been through. So, I think I've mentioned before, I work in a retail pharmacy. I'm not going to go into which one, it doesn't matter. It is a 24-hour store, so I've had to work nights, whatever, which is relevant to what's been going on. So, I am, as you are all aware, I'm about 2.5 months on T. Obviously my voice has dropped for anybody who missed that memo. Yeah, voice has dropped. I've also started using the men's room at work. That hasn't been an issue. Neither one of those has been an issue, thankfully. But there's been some other stuff going on, that I finally bit the bullet, and I did something about it. So, we're about to get into all that. So, I work with, let me rewind. So, in our store, the way that it works is we have, the store manager, shift supervisors, and then cashiers. There's usually an assistant manager after the store manager, but my particular store doesn't have one, so I skipped that part. So, I'm a shift supervisor, which means that I'm above the cashiers, below the store manager, and the assistant store managers, which makes sense, right? Okay. So, the store manager that I had when I started with my company, was fully aware of what I was doing, to an extent. He knew that I had a lot of doctor's appointments. I didn't ever go into why or what they were for, because my HR manager, who is gay, informed me that I didn't need to, that I could just start my testosterone, get my name changed, and whenever that was done, whenever my name change was legal, just send him, my HR manager, an email, and he would change it in the system for me. And that was all I had to do. So, I said, alright, cool. So, started taking my testosterone, never had to mention anything to him about it. About 2 months ago, we had an incident in the store where money was disappearing out of the safe. And I was falsely, and I will go on any record to say falsely, and unofficially accused of being the one taking it. Loss prevention and the district manager got involved, and my store manager at the time, was terminated for not following protocol and reporting it before then. So now we have a new store manager, which means I have to come out as trans again. So First day working with him, felt really comfortable with him. I came out to him, probably not the best move on my part, but whatever. Um, he didn't have any kind of, comments or prejudices or anything at the time, so I thought, you know what, this is going to be a good thing. Finally getting somewhere, with the hormones, now it's going to start getting noticeable, and everything's going to be fine, whatever. So, that was probably a month or so ago. Since that time, things have been terrible. I think my last few videos, y'all have kind of gotten the idea or the suspicion that things at work have not been, warm and fuzzy. And they haven't. So, there's another shift supervisor. I'll get back to my manager in just a second. But there's another shift supervisor who... Oh, my eye. It's my eyelashes. Anyway, I have another shift supervisor who is... When you think of your stereotypical Christian, the ones who claim the name but don't act the way they're supposed to according to what they believe in. And I can say that because my dad is a Baptist preacher. So I know all about it and how it works. I've been in church my entire life, and I'm not here to bash anyone who is of any particular faith of any kind. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm doing. The purpose of this video is strictly to give you an idea of what I've been through and how I handled it. Take it or leave it. It means no more than what I'm telling you right now that it does. So anyway, this guy is very religious. He's very, will not work Sunday morning so that he can go to church, which is fine, I mean, if I was Catholic, I wouldn't work Saturday night so that I could go to Mass, whatever. I have no problem with you taking off, for religious purposes. I mean, that's kind of what the freedom of religion is. Anyway, so, he's made no question of what he thinks of me being gay, much less being trans. I have not outright told him that I'm trans, but he's figured it out by now. And if not, he's a moron anyway, but that's not the point. So, he's easily in his 60s. He's very belligerent. He's very manipulative, deceitful. And I'm not the only one that will tell you these things about him, which is why I'm not afraid to put it on the internet. Several people in my store have come to me and said, oh, well, he's saying this, or oh, he's doing this, or oh, he's, for the 5 months that I've been with this company, he has done nothing but find things that I have done wrong. We do out-of-dates, which is where we go in and we pull out-of-date product off the shelf and process it, and one of two things will happen when we process it. When we scan it, it'll tell us to either throw it in the dumpster or put it in a tote to send back to corporate. When it says throw it in the dumpster, we throw it in the dumpster. So, I processed 2 or 3 buggies of damages the other night, and a lot of them went to the dumpster. So, what do? Take them to the dumpster. After I'd already processed them, following protocol, doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, took them to the dumpster. This guy comes in, that was a Wednesday night. He didn't come in until Thursday, till 2 o'clock the next day. And ironically enough, that's the night that our dumpsters get emptied. So he comes in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday and takes pictures of the empty dumpsters to prove that I was stealing all these damages that I processed out instead of, throwing them away like I was supposed to. He checked the cameras and saw that there was a vehicle that looks a lot like the vehicle that one of my roommates drives, and so he was, he asked my cashier what vehicle I drove. Well, he was very disappointed to find out that I don't have one. About that time, my roommate picked me up in this same vehicle that he supposedly saw in this video, and mentioned to my cashier, hey, that's the one I saw a dude getting into. He didn't say dude, obviously. Refuses to use correct pronouns, and even uses my birth name when he can. So, it's fabulous. So anyway, so after 5 months of dealing with his shit, and now my manager pulling the same crap, They seem to be in cahoots together, which is fantastic for me. Let's all gang up on the trans guy. Um, I finally sent an email to my HR manager, the one who's gay. I said, look, this is what's been going on. The dude's been clocking me out for lunches that I haven't been taking. I called out the other day. He told me 4 hours in advance, and he told me that I needed to call in 8 hours in advance, which is ludicrous for any company. Every company that I've ever worked for, and God knows I've worked for more than I care to count. None of them has had a policy of more than 2 hours. Let us know 2 hours in advance. You're not going to be here. You'll be fine. Okay, I gave you 4 hours to notice, and you're going to tell me that you need 8? Yeah, no. So I let him know all of that. I let him know a couple other things that have been going on that I can't think of right now. And for the sake of not having a 4-hour long video, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of it. I'm not going to sit here and try to think about all of it. So anyway, that's the basic stuff. Rundown, whatever. Dude took pictures of the empty dumpster to show to my store manager and the cashier that he likes to talk to, who also likes to talk to me. So that's how I know all this stuff's been going on, is because he tells her and then she comes and tells me, and it's fantastic. So anyway, all of that to say, I emailed my HR manager and said, look, this is what I'm going through. This is what's going on. I've already told you that I'm FTM. I don't have any evidence that this is, harassment because I'm trans or even gay, whatever. That's not the point. I feel like I'm being harassed and I'm in constant fear of losing my job, and my reputation of, being a good worker and a good employee are going to be tarnished. And, once I'm let go here, then I'm not going to be able to find work anywhere else. And he immediately emailed me back, like within 10-15 minutes. And he said, if you don't mind, I want to send this to my district manager. And I was a bit hesitant, just because I'm not confrontational at all. Like, I don't go looking for a fight. And honestly, for me to have even reported it says a lot, because I'm not the kind to go tattletale, to people. But I feel like if this is a trans issue, then it needs to be addressed as a trans issue. Because too many of us are dealing with this same shit, and none of us have the balls to do anything about it because we are in fear of our jobs, we're in fear of retaliation, and losing our jobs because we said something. Or we're afraid of getting our asses kicked by, other employees that we work with. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on, and there's all kinds of reasons why we don't report it. And I'm not saying that I'm better than any of you because I did. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying more of us need to report it. We need to get our cases out there. We need to get our voices heard. Lord knows they're deep enough. Make the ground rumble. But, it's time that we stop rolling over and playing dead for these douchebags who don't want to give us the respect that we deserve just for, living our lives just because we're different, So anyway, that's how I handled it. And so from there, I emailed him back and I said, what protection do I have against retaliation? And he emailed me back and he said, we have a strict no retaliation policy in place. If you feel that you are under any kind of retaliation whatsoever, let me know immediately. And then he went on to say that our district manager is a very understanding person who has shown no prejudice or judgment based on my HR manager's lifestyle, and he's worked with him for 13 years. So, all of that to say, I feel pretty confident as far as where this is going to go. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high. I have put my application in somewhere else. But that's more from a monetary standpoint than anything else. I applied for the apartment complex next door to the one that we're moving into, which comes with a higher pay rate as well as a decrease in our rent. So that's going to help out a lot if I choose to go down that road. So I will let all of you know what I decide, if and when that leaf gets turned or whatever. Anyway. So yeah, like I said, that's a little bit of what's been going on, and that's, like I said, that's how I chose to handle it. So I'm not saying that's the right way, I'm not saying it's the wrong way, But I felt like I couldn't just sit by and, let this kind of bullshit continue to happen just because I'm trans, and like I said, it may not have anything to do with the fact that I'm trans. Yeah, it does. I just can't prove it. So, and they know that, which tomorrow when I go back to work will be interesting because I was off today. So, um, anyway, there's that, and I think that's pretty much it. Sydney and I are very excited about moving into our new apartment. That happens on the 7th. And then I go see my doctor on the 10th. I have plans to talk to her about maybe possibly upping my dosage. Just because I feel like I'm plateaued as far as changes go. I'm not sure what she's going to say. We'll find out. But I'm also going to talk to her about getting back on my mood stabilizer. I think that'll help with my mood swings. It's not really so much mood swings so much as I have no reaction time. From somebody tapping me on the back of the head, rather than say, hey, please stop, I'm going to turn around and punch some lights out, because I have no fuse right now. I have no fuse, I have no reaction time, which makes me really fun to live with. I'm sure you'd have to ask Sydney. But she doesn't like to be on camera, so you won't get the chance to ask her. Anyway, I think I'm going to sign off for now, and I will let everyone know how the next week goes. Today's Wednesday. I had my shot 2 days ago. Feeling pretty good. So, yeah. I will talk to you all in the next few days. Have a great weekend.